Hi, Tiffany. Hey, Kunim. 현수님. And 과자님. Rachel님. 지연님. Halfmoon님. Oh, that's right. I forgot to open a new voice channel for this stream. Let me do that right now. Duplicate. LA. Today is January 8th. January 8th. Already. 2025. I'm still trying to get used to the year 2025. You guys feel comfortable with the number 2025? Yeah, collocations. Collocations. In Korean, it's yeono, right? No, not salmon. Collocations, like the combination of two different words to create, to come up with new meanings. So, what's cracking? Not much. Just getting by. Just spending way too much time going to hospitals and seeing doctors. Happy New Year. Yeah, Happy New Year to you too. Hey, Sonanim. How's it going? Freezing cold? I wouldn't really say freezing cold. I mean, it wasn't so bad. At least I didn't think it was so bad. But I heard it's going to get really cold tonight and tomorrow morning, so get ready for the cold. Hey, wake up, Neem. Wait to me, Neem. Jenny Konim. Hey, Jenny, how's it going? Monet Neem, hi. It's good to see everybody again. How's everybody doing? 2 days in a row. Yeah, I mean, it's 2 days in a row didn't used to be anything in the past, but lately it's been really difficult to even stream one night. So 자주 쓰는 연어. Yes. 연결된 단어들. So like collocations. When we talk about collocation in Korean, I actually didn't know this. As I was trying to come up with this title, I found out that collocation is actually 연어 in Korean. Yeah, it is cold. It was quite windy out. Yeah. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, I'm glad to see you too. How are you doing? Are you feeling better? Feeling, I guess, when I'm saying better, I do feel better. That's for sure. And I think one of the reasons is because today I actually got a very different type of treatment. A treatment that I had never tried before. And so that is giving me a lot of hopeful feelings. I'm hopeful, but I want to be cautiously hopeful because I don't want to, I need to manage my expectations, right? I shouldn't be too hopeful because from what I hear, the success rate of the treatment that I got today is only about 30%. So I'm hoping that I can be one of those, I can be part of that 30%. Who knows, right? But yeah, so I had to go all the way to the Asan Hospital in Seoul. I guess I could have done it in a nearby hospital as well, but I just wanted to go to the hospital where I first was introduced to that treatment. So doing great. What about you? Doing all right. Doing today is one of the better days compared to the last couple of weeks. Thought today's was about a recipe with salmon. Good evening, Sam. I saw a stream yesterday. It's been a lot of snow. It's been a lot of snow. Can somebody correct this? I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean, and so it's not a problem, but it's better if we can say it correctly, right? So how do we correctly say that 눈이 많이 왔다? Instead of it's been a lot of snow, how do we say it? How do you say it? Okay, so this is one way. We can say it snowed a lot today. Sure, that's one way. What is another way to say it? Instead of saying it snowed a lot, or that's probably one of the most straightforward ways to say it. It snowed a lot. We got a lot of snow. We had a lot of snow. It has snowed a lot. Good, good, good. Also, you can say there's been a lot of snow. There's been a lot of snow. Okay, there has been. We can say there's been a lot of snow. Okay, so instead of it's been a lot of snow, you could say there has been a lot of snow. When will you see if the shot you got works or not? Well, the doctor said that the shot that I got today, it usually takes up to 3 days for the shot to take effect in my body. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it. Hey, Floppy name. How's it going? It's been a lot of snow. We had a lot of snow, right? There's been a lot of snow. Where do you sick? Where do you sick? I know what you mean, because that's how we say it in Korean, right? 어디가 아프세요? That's a very cute way to say it. But in English, there's like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? That's what I would say. What's the problem? Like, what kind of problem are you experiencing? That's what I would say. So, yeah. Well, I have this condition where my immune system is off balance, and so I get a lot of skin problems, mainly hives. I think there's another word for it, but I forget. Anyway, so the hives are, I've had this problem for a very long time, even before I got married. So it's been more than 10 years since I've had this problem. And the symptoms, they're not always with me. The symptoms come and go, especially around winter, I think. At least, I didn't think that it was a seasonal thing, but it's turning out to be. It sure seems to be. Anyway, so it's hitting me really hard this time, so it's been really tough. These past couple of months have been very, very tough. Especially these past couple of weeks have been especially tough. But, I've been doing everything that I can. I've been taking Oriental medicine. I've been taking Western medicine. And, today I went over to a hospital in Seoul and I got a special kind of shot. It's usually, this shot treatment is usually for people who don't respond very effectively to just regular antihistamines. So, hopefully. All right, urticaria. That's the word. Yeah, urticaria. That's right. It's like the thing that I have is like chronic urticaria. 종이달님, are you a doctor? Sounds like you might be like a doctor or something. Sam, I finally got a job. It's been a year since I started looking for a job. Wow. Oh, you are a doctor. I might as well be seeing you. Yeah. Where are you at? Where do you work? Where do you practice? I finally got... Okay, hey, congratulations, Jay. Congratulations. So after a year since you started looking for a job, you finally got a job. That is great. That is awesome. Oh, near Samsung Station. That's actually closer than where I went. Wait, no. Okay, so it's slightly further away from where I went today, but oh, okay. That's cool. Do you work in like a near Samsung Station? Oh, so you have your own clinic. Anything님, you're new here. Hey, welcome. Welcome aboard. It's nice to have you with us. Welcome. Hey, 정시원님, what's up? 아원님, I'm on my way home after work. Okay. After working. Say after work. Say after work. Oh, just a paid. Okay. I'm not exactly sure if that's the best way to describe it, but okay. I see. So you are part of a like a bigger organization, right? Okay. I just realized that your tone of voice reminds me of Tablo from Epikai. That's not the first time that I've heard that, actually. I've heard numerous times that I sound like that guy. I don't really know who he is. I don't even know what the guy looks like, but although I might have seen him like here and there, I just didn't. I just never been able to connect the name and the face. What's the word? Hey Kim, what's up? Hey, it's cute, right? It's cute. Although, if you were to say, for example, where are you sick, then I think it would actually kind of make sense. I mean, it does still sound awkward, but it doesn't sound as bad as where do you sick, because sick is not a verb in that question, right? So, hey, what's up? How's it going? Hey, May님. It's good to see you again. 하이브 두드러기 음식을 조심해야 하지 않나요? There's been a lot of opinions about that. I've gotten a lot of opinions. Most of the it's interesting, and it's interesting because most of the doctors that I've been to, that I've met, have told me that the food itself doesn't, unless I have an innate allergic response to certain types of foods, okay? So when you put that aside, there shouldn't be any food that directly causes the hives. So there's no foods that are known to directly cause the hives unless you already have an allergic reaction to certain types of food. So in my case, I don't really have any. I've gotten the test, and it turned out that I don't really have an allergic response to any specific type of food. But because of the type of medicine that I've been taking, I do need to stay away from certain types of food, especially because I'm taking Oriental medicine right now. And as many of you know, Oriental medicine, when you're taking Oriental medicine, you're usually not recommended to take certain types of food, like pork, anything made with flour, right? And stuff like that. So, 베트남 호치민에서 2주 살기 하고 왔습니다. 오늘 너무 춥네요. 저도 다시 로그인했네요. Wow, so interesting. Okay, so just, are you actually considering moving there, like permanently? How was it? I'm curious. You look stronger than last night. Oh, did I seem that weak yesterday? How can you manage to work out since you're not strong enough to stream very long at a time? Well, that's the tricky part, because like today, if I'm being honest, I haven't been able to work out for the past like 2 or 3 days because my condition was so bad. But today I'm doing a lot better. I'm just hoping my the hives don't come back. And so after the stream, hopefully I'll get on the bike or go out and walk, maybe go for a run. But it's seeing as how it's kind of slippery outside because of the recent snow we had. I'm probably gonna just ride my bike at home. Yeah, I mean, but it's, as I always say, it's never about understanding the difference. It's always about experience. You need to experience English a lot until you can get it right. Yeah, it's been a while. When I watched yesterday's video again, I realized you were sick, so I got worried. I hope you're healthy. Oh, well, it's kind of hard, you know. It's kind of, especially the older you get. I just finished recording Unit 7. I feel kind of bad, so bad for your issue. Well, you know, I'm working on it. Yeah. Hopefully it gets better. Hey Liam, how's it going? It's been a while? I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. Regular doctors don't recommend Oriental meds, do they? Yeah, today it was so funny because I went to the very first doctor that I met for this allergic. Well, she's like an allergy doctor, but the first doctor that actually brought up the idea of taking this shot that I got today. And I was telling her, I hadn't seen her in like 3 years. So I was kind of happy. I was kind of glad to see her again. And so she kind of knows my history to some extent. And when I told her about the kind of treatments that I had been taking these past couple of months, like I started, this is like my 4th month taking Oriental medicine. And when I mentioned that I had been taking Oriental medicine, she kind of did the eye roll. It's like, oh, that. And so immediately it was a very clear sign how she felt about Oriental medicine. She didn't tell me anything. She just kind of rolled her eyes like, oh, that. Hey, Happy New Year, Lidonim. How's it going? I know who you are. Liam Meeson says, I know who you are. We have another role player here. Most of them don't like their patients take any more Oriental medicine. Yeah. Well, yeah, I really don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. I mean, when you go to an Oriental doctor and they tell you all these things and it sounds like everything's fine, they say that nothing that they put into Oriental medicine is actually bad. It's all just good ingredients, and there's like no steroids, nothing like that. All from natural herbs and natural products. And so, but who knows, right? It's been a while. Hey, YG, what's up? How's it going? Radish? Radish? No, I don't think radish. It's like I need to stay away from pork, any type of fried foods, or anything that's too greasy or oily, and anything that's made from flour, right? So no noodles made with flour, and chicken also. Apparently chicken interferes with the process of the Oriental medicine being processed in your body. So apparently that I need to stay away from that as well. And just a few things that I did not expect, but generally just eating healthy is recommended. Yeah. 고수? Cilantro? I love cilantro. I don't know about that. It wasn't on the list. Yeah, isn't that weird? There's something about the chicken that interferes with the Oriental medicine taking effect. Apparently, I really don't know. I don't know the details. Hey, ultimately it's repetition. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Wait, do I have that here? I don't have that here, right? Okay. New subscriber. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Welcome. It worked for me to reduce my body weight. Oh, really? How does that work? Does it take away your appetite, or does it just make you thinner? Like, it doesn't change your appetite and it just somehow makes you thinner? How does that work? I mean, something has to be happening. Either it increases your metabolism, or it removes your appetite. Like, something's got to give, right? Something's got to give. Oh yeah, pretty much, yeah. So the thing about Oriental medicine, like the types of food that they tell you to avoid, so it's basically don't eat anything delicious and don't eat anything convenient. Because when you take pork and chicken into account, when you try to avoid these two, so just beef? Beef and fish? I mean, yeah, I guess that's not bad. But pork and chicken is so common. It's so easy to go for anything that has pork and chicken in it, right? And so it's really inconvenient to take those out of the option. And the same goes for anything made with flour. Like so many different types of foods are made using flour, right? And so to avoid that, oh man, it just makes everything so much more difficult, especially when you have to eat with someone else. So hey, DI honey, it's been a while, yeah. Yeah, chicken. I guess so. Yeah. And the part that I hate, one of the things that I hate most about this, especially because I have like type 2 diabetes. That's another thing. I'm also dealing with type 2 diabetes. And so I'm not supposed to eat anything. I'm not supposed to, like, it doesn't really matter what, but anything that I'm supposed to eat in moderation. I can't fill up my belly, so to speak. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that. Okay, let's begin today. I'm not planning on streaming for very long today. I'm just going to go over a few very, very simple things with you guys. So, just a few things, okay? Just a few things. Just a few things. Okay, how do we say 지금 당장 행동을 취해야 합니다. 지금 당장 행동을 취해야 합니다. Very good. Take action. Take action. So the reason take action is so important is because we also use other types of adjectives to modify action. Okay? So there's actually, very good. So immediate action, right? But something that I'm noticing right now is a lot of you guys are saying action or unaction. No, it's not take an action. It's just take action. Take action, right? So we need to take immediate action. This is, they're basically the same, but they're both commonly used. Take immediate action. So what are some other adjectives we can use besides immediate? Quick action? Yeah, quick action works too. Appropriate sounds good. For example. So we need to inform them as soon as possible. We need to inform them as soon as possible so they can take appropriate action. Take appropriate action. Proper is okay too. Take swift action sounds okay too. So take action. Okay, take action. This is it's very basic, very, very basic. And it would be great if you could use different types of adjectives like this to modify action. So you can express what kind of action one should be taking. Right? Okay. Take proper action. Take actions? I suppose you could. Like, take a series of actions. You could say, for example, I guess you could say that. It's not very commonly used like that, but I suppose you could. So they took a series of actions. So, one action after another, and leading to a series of actions, right? In response to what happened. Take bold actions. That's another good way, right? Take bold actions. Okay, let's move on from take action. I'm just going to read these several times. We need to take action right now. 지금 당장 행동을 취해야 합니다. We need to take immediate action. We need to take quick action. We need to inform them as soon as possible so they can take appropriate action. They took a series of actions in response to what happened. Hey, Greenie, what's up? How's it going? What's up? Okay, let's move on to the next one. How do you say this? 그 일에 대해서 아무도 책임을 지지 않았습니다. How would you say this? Nobody took responsibility for what happened. Okay, so take responsibility for is important. Take responsibility for something. Okay? However, in addition to take responsibility, for, I want you to practice another one. 지금 이거는 그쵸? 말 그대로 그 책임이 있는 사람이 책임을 지지 않는 것에 대한 얘기잖아요, right? So this is about the subject of the person or of the group of people, whoever it is, who has the responsibility to do something, but they don't take responsibility. However, there's another way we can say this. 책임을 묻다. 누구에게 책임을 묻다. How do you say this? 누구에게 책임을 묻다. Does anybody know how to say that? Very close. Very close. Okay, so the combination of hold and responsibility, hold accountable. Good, very good, right? So what you need to learn here is hold someone accountable and hold someone responsible. They're very similar, slightly different, but very, very similar. Very, very similar, slightly different. And the difference is not very important, okay? It's not too important. So let's use these and say the same thing, okay? We're going to say no one, nobody. How do we say this? How do we say this using these? How do we use this and say the same thing? Tio님, no one was held accountable for what happened. Very good. No one was held accountable for what happened. Very good. Nobody was held accountable for what happened. Nobody was held responsible for what happened. In most contexts, they're pretty much the same. Now, I don't want you to worry too much about what the difference is, but I will try to oversimplify it and try to explain it. But I don't want you to, I don't want you to worry about it too much. Okay, so when you say nobody was held responsible, it means that someone didn't do their job. Someone didn't do their job. It was their responsibility. It was their job, and they didn't do their job. But no one was held responsible, right? Accountable it's a slightly broader meaning. So when you say that no one was held accountable, it means no one paid the price for what happened. No one paid the price for the results. Okay? Anyway, so be held responsible. Nobody was be held accountable and be held responsible for. Take charge of is very different from what we're talking about here. Take charge of is like you are in charge of something. Taking charge of something is a good thing. It means you're leading something. You're leading a group of people to do something. Right. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. I think we lost connection for a second there. Okay. Fortunately, I don't think I was held responsible for anything. Oh, really? Cool. All right. All right. So, being held responsible, being all right. Okay. Next, what are we looking at? Even after all these years, people still okay, so what we want to say here, is 사람들은 아직도 그거를 가지고 그들을 비난합니다. That's what we want to say here. Even after all these years, 사람들은 아직도, people still, 그거를 가지고 그들을 비난합니다. How do we say that? Okay. Yeah, that's good too. That's good too. Blame someone for something. However, I want to show you a different one. Even after all these years, people still hold that against them. Even after all these years, people still hold that against them. So when you say blame them for that, when you say still blame them for that, it sounds closer to 이 문제에 대해서 그들을 탓합니다. 이거 얘네 때문에 그런 거야. 약간 이런 거고요. So when you say hold that against them, it sounds like 야, 너네 예전에 이랬었잖아. 그러니까 너네 나쁜 놈이야. This is kind of more like that. Even after all these years, people still hold that against them. Oh, okay. So, all right, so they're very similar. Okay, they're very similar. It's not a big difference. But so blaming someone for something, this can mean both things actually, but this sounds closer to so whose fault is this? Oh, that's their fault. So the focus is more on what happened. And right? So when you blame someone for something, it's like, oh, why did this happen? Whose fault is it? Oh, that's their fault. Okay? But holding something against someone is more focused on the perpetrator, the person or the group who is being held accountable, right? And so, for example, something happened many years ago, and you still have bad feelings. You still hold a grudge against them because of that. Right? Does that make sense? So, like, no, I don't think you're, like, let's say a company did something very, very sketchy, very bad. Like, I don't know, maybe they made some really bad products that caused, let's say that, they, like many years ago, they had a product that was found to have some substance in it that caused like cancer or something, right? And this happened like 10 years ago. But even after all these years, people don't forget it and say, we don't trust your company. We're not going to buy your product because this happened 10 years ago. So this is holding that against them. Okay? Hope that makes sense.
Nobody took responsibility for what happened. Nobody was held accountable for what happened. Nobody was responsible for what happened. Even after all these years, people still hold that against them.
Blame someone for something. 어떤 결과에 대해서 비난하는 것일까요? Yes. So let's say that let's say, okay, so for the recent accident, the recent plane crash. Okay, so people are, I guess people are right now, I don't know if they found what the main cause was, what the main problem was. So whose fault is it? Like, why did this happen? Oh, it's his fault. It's her fault. It's their fault. So this is blaming someone. All right, we're blaming someone for what happened. And let's say that 20 years from now, okay, 20 years from now, let's say that, I don't know, Jeju Airlines, they came out with a, I don't know, they announced a new, I don't know, like they bought some new planes or something, or they made some reform in their system, in their maintenance system or something. And then let's say people say, no, wait, we still don't trust you because 20 years ago this happened and we hate you. Okay, when this happens, we can say that people are still holding that against them. Okay. Yes. I kind of tried to explain it that way earlier, but didn't really seem to work. Yeah, holding a grudge for something that happened in the past. Yes, I mean, so that is basically the difference. Again, it's not too important, but okay. All right. So, yeah, I understand this is kind of difficult to grasp. It's not the easiest expression to really understand. I'm sure that like if you try to remember this and you listen to a lot of you know watch a lot of movies, listen to a lot of podcasts, watch interviews and stuff like that, I'm sure you'll hear this a lot. It's a very, very commonly used collocation in English. Holding something against someone. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, here's an easy one. That, it could be anything. It's not specific to incidents and events or happenings. It's not just those. It could be something else. It could be, for example, let's imagine that you have, I mean, nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. But let's say that you had, like, let's say that you're very, very impatient, just as a person, right? You just have this tendency to be very impatient, okay? And so some people might hold that against you. Some people might say, you know, I don't approve of you as a good human being because you're so impatient. You know, I don't think very highly of you. You know, I don't respect you. I don't have a lot of respect for you because you're just such a very impatient person. And so what this is it's holding that against that person. And here, what is that? It's that characteristic, it's that quality of being impatient. And some people might hold that against you, but let's say that you have this really nice friend, and over all the many years that you've been friends, that friend has never held that against you. So that friend has always been very understanding and very receptive of that quality about you. And so you can say, oh, this is my best friend. I mean, he's I've always been impatient my entire life, but this guy, he's never held that against me. Does that make sense? So, if I were to say that in Korean, in very simple terms, okay? In very simple terms, I would say like this in Korean. I would say 그걸 가지고 그 사람에게 뭐라고 하다. 그걸 가지고 그 사람에게 뭐라고 하다. That's probably how I would phrase it. 참을성이 없는 거 가지고 나한테 뭐라고 한 적이 없어. Yes. Yes. Very good. So this would mean if we were saying this in English, we would say, oh, my boss, he's never I've always been impatient with him and at work, but my boss, he's never held that against me. That means he's never thought less of me. He's never he's never criticized me, or he's never said anything bad about me because of that. He's never held that against me. He's never held that. So I want you to picture this. When you hold something against someone, so there's a person here, and let's say that person has always been very impatient, right? And so you write down impatient on a piece of paper and you hold it against them. It's like, look, this is you. I disapprove. That's kind of like what holding against someone means. So you hold that against someone. Yes, it can be anything, pretty much. Let's say that you just have a really bad habit, If that's the case, okay. All right, let's move on. Hey, Rosie, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Okay, so here's something a little bit something that you might hear on the news more often. Okay, so how would we say this? Oh, you too. Right back at you, 최진수님. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you very much. I'm gonna need all the luck I can get, so I need a lot of poke. I'm gonna need a lot of poke this year. That's perfect. Liam Neesonim. Thank you very much. This is perfect. So, allegations are being made. Oh, yes, I know. Y'all know. 연결된 단어. Collocations. Collocations. Now, you could go the passive route. Okay, you could use it in the passive form, but we don't have to use it in the passive form. Right? We don't have to use the passive form. There's a way to avoid using the passive form. How do we avoid using the passive form? So passive form, 수동태, they made serious allegations against her. Okay, now let's maintain the tense. Let's maintain right like this, using the present continuous. They're making some. Let's just add some in the sentence. Some serious allegations against her. So they're both correct. Make some serious allegations. So the collocation we're looking for is making allegations against someone. Be accused of? Yeah, you could. But when you're talking about 혐의, it's usually allegation. So we use accuse of in very similar contexts, but the way we use it in a sentence is kind of different. 여기서 they가 뜻하는 건요. It's an like it could be anybody. It could be anybody. But so when we say, okay, look at this here. If you see this sentence, it doesn't identify who is making the allegations, right? Right? It's not, we don't mention it. And so by saying they, we're not specifying anybody. We're not specifying anybody, okay? We're not specifying anybody. Yes, 불특정 누군가. Right. The point of saying it like this is to not mention who is doing it. As in this sentence. In this sentence, we're not specifying who is making the allegations. And so we're doing that. And by using the passive form, we're taking the focus away from the subject. So there's no subject here, right? And same thing here. This is just a placeholder. This is just a placeholder. We're not specifying anybody. Just they're making some serious allegations against her. Okay. They are alleging her? I think that sounds kind of odd. I think when you say that, you're starting from a very specific incident, event, or crime, and they're alleging her. Means they're pointing to her. That's what I would guess that means. I'm not exactly sure. Allegation is 의혹. 제기하는 건 is make. Make an allegation. Okay? 혐의를 제기하다. Make an allegation. Okay. So that was a bit on the formal side. Something that you might hear on the news a lot. Although, when we're talking about, it's not just something we hear on the news. When we're talking to someone in English about someone, maybe a public figure, someone who's, okay. All right, let's move on from this. I want to move on to risk. I'm not sure if this is a good translation. I don't know if this is a really good translation. Maybe this is better. Okay, oops 님이 하신 걸 볼게요. Are you willing to risk everything you've worked on? Risk everything you've worked on? 그쵸, for. Are you willing to risk everything you've worked for? 자, 많은 분들이 이 risk 자리에 take a risk를 쓰셨는데 take a risk라고 하면은요, 무엇을 risk한다라는 얘기로 이어질 수가 없어요. 만약에 무엇을 risk한다라는 얘기로 갈 거면은 그냥 risk를 동사로 쓰는 거예요. 오케이? 물론 take the risk of ing라고 할 수는 있겠구나. Right. 물론 그렇게 할 수는 있네요. Are you willing to take the risk of, blowing away everything you've. 물론 이렇게 할 수는 있는데 it's an unnecessarily long sentence. It's just a lot easier to just say this. Are you willing to risk everything you've worked for? Okay. Oh, hey, Pangyong, what's up? Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess I wore this a lot throughout those videos. Put on? 어디예요? Put on? Work on and work for. Work on is when you're talking about very specific tasks. Very specific tasks, like work on a homework, work on a report, work on a project, work on a video, work on any specific task. However, work for it's a much broader meaning. You don't have to connect it with anything else. Yeah, working for is a much more broader perspective of like success. Okay? So here everything, it's not something specific. It's like success, and working for success. Work for a goal, right? Work for a goal, some sort of, yeah, that's good, goal. A goal is a much better word than success, I think, right? Okay, so are you willing to risk everything you've worked for? That's how I would say this. Are you actually willing to risk everything you've worked for? Everything you've done? Sure. Yeah. If you say everything you've done, then I would delete 노력. I would say 지금까지 해온 걸 다 날릴 생각이야? Are you willing to risk everything you've done? But if you say 지금까지 노력해온 걸. Everything you've put effort into, that's good. That's okay too. That's okay too. That's good too. You could say everything you've put effort into, but this is just simpler, more straightforward. We haven't gone to the collocation yet because I want you to understand the difference between risking something, okay? Risk something and take a risk. So the collocation we're trying to practice here is actually taking a risk. But before that, I want you to understand the difference between risking something and taking a risk, okay? To risk everything you've put effort into. Yes, that's right. Okay, so next. How do we say this? Okay, so yes, now we need. Can you risk that? No. This is the kind of context where we need take. Can you really take that kind of risk? Oops. Can you really take that kind of risk? Are you willing to take that kind of risk? Okay, now I want you to look at so in order to understand the difference here we are talking about risking something. We're talking about risking something, a goal that we've worked so hard for, Okay? But here we're not talking about risking something. We're talking about the level of risk. Risk tolerance. Okay, that's the difference in the context here. In this context, we're talking about the thing that we're risking. However, here we're talking about the level of risk that we are taking, that we are willing to take. Does that make sense? The thing we're risking, the level of risk. Okay? Okay, so are you willing to take that kind of risk? So let's say that we're talking about something and we just finished talking about some kind of risk, okay? So so we could say, 그런 위험을 감수할 수 있다면 해봐. So, if you're willing to take that kind of risk, go for it. If you're willing to take that kind of risk, go for it. If you think you can take that kind of risk, go for it, yeah. Willing to, oh, sorry about that. Whoops, I think huh? If you're willing to take that kind of risk, go for it. How do we say this? Stupid insert key. Yeah, if you're willing to, right. So in this context, we are talking about risking something, whereas in this context, we're talking about the level of risk. 그런 위험을, right? The level of risk. Here is 지금까지 노력해온 걸 risk할 수 있다면, right? So here we just use risk as a verb. If you're willing to risk everything you've worked for, go right ahead. I dare you. If you're willing to risk everything you've worked for, I dare you. If you're willing to bet everything you've worked for, yeah, you could say that. You could use bet instead of risk. Probably not in all contexts, but here I think it'll work as well. Risk everything. Take that kind of risk. 그런 거에 내 미래를 걸 수는 없지. I dare myself? I've never heard that. I mean, I wouldn't say impossible because there are so many possibilities, but I don't think I've ever heard that. Right. I dare you. Yeah. 그런 느낌이죠. Yes. Okay, last one. Oh, the Korean translation is so hard. Let's just try this with fill in the blank. So in this sentence, it means that certain issues were brought up. But he didn't. Okay, JC says resolve, address. Very good. That's what I'm looking for. Address. Whoops. Did I press insert again? He didn't address any of the issues that were brought up. Now, this word, I really hate covering this word. Because I find it very, very difficult, nearly impossible to perfectly translate this in Korean. This is one of those words that doesn't really exist in Korean, I feel like. Because when you actually translate it, it usually ends up with like 얘기하다 or 언급하다 or 다루다. It's usually these, but these words they don't quite encompass the feeling of this word. No, this is not 제기하다. Yeah, so the best translation is just 얘기하다, 언급하다, or 다루다. But I don't feel like these are perfect translations. But anyway, but you get the idea, right? 그는 제기된 어느 이슈에 대해서도 언급하지 않았다, right? So this address, I feel like this is a combination of different things. So address means to mention, discuss, talk about in order to find a solution. That's what address is. Again, let me say that again. So addressing an issue, for example, because there are different ways we use address, but in this kind of context, address encompasses a combination of different things, namely mentioning something, covering it, right? Covering that issue. That means talking about it, discussing it, in order to find a solution. That's what address means. Does that make sense? Okay, so it's not as simple as 언급하다 or 다루다. It's a combination of different things. So when you just look at the translation, it's often just 얘기하다. 해석만 보면은 그냥 얘기하다, 언급하다, 다루다 정도로 일단 해석으로는 그런데 the meaning, as I've said, it covers it covers more meaning than that. Okay. So again, when you address an issue, okay, when you address an issue, it means you talk about it, you discuss it, and in order to find a solution to it. That's addressing it. Tackling is slightly different because tackling doesn't include the meaning of bringing it up as a topic, but addressing means to bring it up as a topic of discussion, covering it, going over it in order to find a solution. Tackling is more focused on finding a solution. Okay? Okay. So that's what makes this word very hard for Korean people to learn, because we don't have a word in Korean that perfectly matches with this one. Okay? No. It's not like that, no. Okay. So he didn't address any. So let's say that, and I think this happened quite recently, but let's say that you're, at work, the employees, the staff, they brought up a number of issues that they wanted the boss to take care of, to deal with. Okay? And so they've mentioned it. They've sent emails, sent messages. And in the next meeting, the boss said, okay, so we're going to talk about these, the problems that you guys have sent to me. I've looked over them, and let me talk about those right now. And let's say he gave about like a 5-minute explanation and talk about those things. But let's say that he talked about them, but he only came up with excuses of why those problems occurred, instead of trying to effectively looking for a solution to those issues. And in that kind of situation, you might say, he didn't address any of the issues that we brought up. He just came up with excuses. He didn't address any of them. Okay. Okay. And nowadays, I met women she assisted from. Take a risk to learn English. Finally, when I know that she is a refugee or something else. Hutkinger. I stopped the risking, talking, and Kakao talking. So you almost got scammed by a refugee? Is that what you're saying? That's scary. Okay, so here, instead of issues, we can also say problems and concerns. These are some very commonly used words used in a similar way. In this kind of contexts, we often use issues, problems, and concerns. I hope that makes sense. I guess one thing that we all need to really understand is addressing, especially in this context, when we're talking about addressing an issue, addressing a problem, addressing a concern, as Marianim said here, it's not just about finding a solution. It's not only about taking care of it. It's about bringing it up, discussing it in order to find a solution. It's a combination of those different things. Hey, Brody. Brody? Brody? There we go. Where have you been? Where have you been today? I haven't seen you all day. I haven't seen Brody all day. So Brody spent the whole day at school today. How did you feel about school today? No? No word, no comment? You want to say something to these folks here? Yeah, he was in school. We've been sending Amber and Brody to a dog school in our neighborhood, and I think they do a really good job. I'm really, so far I've been really happy with the service they provide. Brody, what's this? Daddy's pills. These are Daddy's pills. Look into the camera, it's that way. Daddy's pills. All right, time to go. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it today. I think we've been here for about an hour. I'm just gonna go over. Oh, sorry. I'm just gonna go over these the sentences one more time before we go. So we need to take action. Okay, taking action. 행동을 취하다. 행동을 취하다. 행동을 취해. Take action. Not take a action or take an action. No, take action. And take immediate or quick action using modifiers like this. Okay, very important. Take appropriate action, take proper action. Right. In response to, this is not something that I was planning to cover today in today's stream, but in response to, like doing something, right? Doing something in response to something. This is for a lot of you more intermediate and advanced learners. This could be a very important expression. Okay, you guys know what this means, right? In response to something. 대응해서, 무엇에 대한 대응으로서, right? 무엇에 대한 반응으로, right? 어떻게 반응하다, right? So doing something in response to. 대처, right? So that, it's another, something that comes in handy if you know how to use it. So take responsibility for, a very basic expression. Take responsibility for. But being held accountable, that means paying the price for the result of something. Okay? Paying the price. Like if someone is held accountable for something, it usually means that they have to explain why it happened. Okay? It's not just about, oh, you didn't do your job, so pay the price. But being held accountable is, so how did this happen? Explain. We need an explanation as to why it happened. So what are your plans to avoid from making this, allowing this to happen again? It's a slightly broader sense of taking responsibility. Okay. All right. So this caused a lot of confusion, I think. So hold something against someone. Hold something against someone. Okay. So now in this specific example, we're talking about something that somebody did a long time ago, and we're still holding that against that person or that group. But it's not only about something that happens over a long period of time. It could be about anything. It could be about a characteristic or a personality that you have. And if someone is not giving you respect because of that, right? If someone if someone thinks less of you because of that, it's pretty much holding that against you. Okay? So this expression is not only used in the context of something that happened a long time ago. It could be pretty much anything, right? Brody is from Saudi? I don't think so. Although I wasn't there when he was born, so. All right, so make an allegation. To make an allegation against someone. To make an allegation against someone. 누구에게 어떤 혐의를 제기하는 거. Okay, so we're saying serious allegations are being made against her. They're making some serious allegations against her. Are you willing to risk everything? So risking something. Risking something. Okay. Risking something means to take the risk of losing that. Okay? So if you risk your future, it means you're taking the risk of losing your future. Okay? So that's risking something. And to take a risk, it means it could be anything. So if you're saying, can you really take that kind of risk? You're talking about, so by saying that kind of risk, you're talking about the level of risk. Okay? Okay. Are you willing to take that kind of risk? If you're willing to take that kind of risk, go for it. If you're willing to risk everything you've worked for, I dare you. I can't risk my future. Risking one's future. This reminds me of another expression. Put something on the line. Have you guys heard of this one too? Put something on the line. So if you risk your future, that means you're putting your future on the line. I think that's what it means. I might be wrong about this. Wait. I'll just keep it barely visible. He didn't address. I think this also caused a lot of confusion for you guys because, again, in Korean, unfortunately, in Korean, we don't have a specific word that perfectly matches address. And I'll say it again. Here, address is not just a... Yeah, I know. 연어, 연결된 단어의 연결 단어. Collocations, okay? That's what we're doing today. So here, address is a combination of different things. It's a combination of different things. You bring it up, you mention it, talk about it, you discuss it in order to find a solution. That's what address means. It doesn't always addressing something. So I guess what I can say is just because you're addressing something doesn't mean you're always finding a solution. Sometimes you can't find a solution. Okay? 갑자기 연어 초밥 먹고 싶어지네요. All right. That's about it. Okay. All right. All right. I know, right? I bet that for a lot of people who are tuning into the stream, like they're all secretly hoping that we do anything except learning something. Please, let's do anything except learning. Guys, I know. God, how many times do I have to mention this? Collocation in Korean is yono. Collocation in Korean, it's yono. Right? Am I wrong? Is it not yono? Oh, okay. All right. Okay, let's copy and paste this. 여기 오타아님이라고 써놓을까? 제목에다가 오타아님. 연어 오타아님. I changed the title. All right. Pasting. Save. All right, that's it, you guys. I now have to go on my bike. I have to ride my bike for 2 hours now. So, I'll see you guys whenever I stream next time or whenever I upload another video. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hanja. Goodbye. Yeah. All right. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. No, I gotta go. I gotta go exercise. I'm diabetic. I gotta go exercise. My doctor told me every day, either walk, run, ride your bike, whatever you need to do, burn 500 calories. And I gotta go do that now. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope I can see you again tomorrow. And good night, everybody. Yeah, no more late night snacks. No more late night snacks. See you guys. Have a good night.
serious allegations are being made against her. They are making some serious allegations against her. Are you willing to risk everything you've worked for? Can you really take that kind of risk? Are you willing to take that kind of risk? If you're willing to take that kind of risk, go for it. If you're willing to risk everything you've worked for, I dare you. I can't risk my future for something like that. He didn't address any of the issues that were brought up.